All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's hard to believe March is almost over. But I hope everybody's having a good end to winter and getting ready for a great spring. And I am Patty McGee, owner of The Hydrated Life and host of the Hydrated Life podcast. And today we are going to be talking about 5 steps to unlocking your true potential, how your DNA is your diploma. And I am excited to bring this topic to you. I actually presented it to some students years ago and wanted to reintroduce it to everybody because I feel it's a really good topic to talk about on taking control of our life. So I am Patty McGee. I'm the author of the book Hope, an inspiring A to Z guide for cancer patients, survivors, and caregivers. And I'm a licensed massage therapist, a life coach, and a corporate wellness trainer. And I'm a 21-year breast cancer survivor, and it changed my life. I was not living my true potential. I wasn't even close to living my true potential, even though I was working in a job that I absolutely loved, and I was doing something that I went to college for. But the cancer changed me. It changed who I was inside, and I saw that I was not living my life to its full potential. So I want to talk to you and tell you that it's never too late to change your life. It's never too late to step into who you are meant to be. So how is our DNA our diploma? Well, when you think about going to high school or going to college and you're walking that stage and all the hard work that you put into getting your diploma so that you can go out and live in this world, earn an income to take care of yourself and others if needed, right? But inside of us, in our DNA, is really where our true potential is. It's what I call our diploma. It tells us everything that we need to know, and it matches with our spirit. So when our spirit is healthy, we are walking in who we are supposed to be. So with our body, it's such an intricate structure, right? We have our face, our arms, our hands, but there's one unique universal trait that we've all been given. For the most part, 99.9% of the time, this trait is universal to everybody, and that is the length of our arms. If you say are 5'5" like I am, and you go stand next to somebody who's say 6'5", if you stand next to them, you can grab their arms, you can grab their hands, okay? There's a reason for that, so that we can walk in this universal love together, regardless of our skin color, regardless of our nationality, our height, our weight, whether we're rich or poor. We can change any of our learned behaviors, and especially in our mind, body, and spirit. But this universal trait of having our arms all at the same length was purposeful. And it's to bring that universal love that we all need to feel, that hand holding, that hug that we need. So I want to just talk to you today about our DNA as our diploma and how it leads our life. Okay. So there's 5 things that block our potential. And the number one is that the legacy of expectations. Many of us are nudged, sometimes shoved, towards continuing family professions. Okay. This expectation can be the torch. You have to carry the torch. This can stifle your personal dreams and aspirations. Many times when I talk to young people, they're like, my dad wants me to carry on the business. My mom wants me to become this. And a lot of times we do it because we want our kids to do better in life than what we've done. but sometimes it can block their potential because they may be an artist. Say you want them to be a doctor, but they want to be an artist. But they don't have the heart to tell you no because the great-grandfather was a doctor, and the grandfather was a doctor, and the dad's a doctor, and the uncles are a doctor. And all of a sudden you want to become an artist and, create things on paper or create things, out in the world that you want to draw from your heart and your mind. So our legacy sometimes can hold us back. And then it can work the other way too with our parents, where I wanted to be like my mom. So I drank a lot and I danced on bars like my mother, and I just had a good time and didn't really worry about too much in life prior to the cancer. So look at your legacy and where you're leading your kids and your family so that you can see if you're setting up a barrier to them living their full potential. The second block is the cycle of habits and addictions, okay? The monkey see, monkey do effect that is very powerful in our lives. Our children mimic what we do. So for me, if I was drinking too much, I was fortunate. My son did not follow in those footsteps. He's not a big drinker, but I followed in my mother's footsteps and my grandfather's footsteps and my uncle's footsteps and, so on down the road. So we need to be careful when we're witnessing that we are not letting our kids inherit our bad habits and addictions from our family, okay? Especially the ones that are hard to break. Drugs and alcohol are the hardest. They impede our growth and they impede the growth of our children. Another block is financial poverty. I started working with a life coach a couple of years ago, and she told me I had the poverty mindset, and I never put it together. But when I look back on my family's history with finances, my mom and dad were never well off. They bought a home for $15,000, and the amount of money that my siblings and I and my parents put into it to remortgage it all the time for things that there were no improvements to it, or very few, that we didn't know how to manage money. And I can be honest that between 50 and 60 is when I've learned to manage money. I mismanaged it all the time. And people would bail me out, but I never learned how to manage it. So that can be another block that's causing someone not to live to their full potential. Oh, I can't afford it. I can't do this. Everything that we say to ourselves about the lack of money goes against what our true DNA is for making money. We all have the potential to be rich or richer than we are, but we stifle that due to growing up and experiencing how our parents led our finances, okay? The scarcity mindset, limiting beliefs in abundance, and hampering our ability to thrive in life. So we have the first block is our legacy of expectations, what our parents or grandparents thought we should become versus who we really wanted to become. The cycle of habits and addictions that can hold back our potential. That was me. Third one is our financial poverty, the scarcity mindset. The fourth one is a communication breakdown. So many people right now are experiencing poor communication skills. It's breaking up relationships. It's causing disturbances at work. And you need to find a way to learn how to communicate. I don't know if I have my book right here. Well, I got one called Communicate Clearly, but that's not the one I was looking for. There's another one that I have here that really is it taught me how to communicate well. But a lot of communication happens as we're growing up. how we witnessed it and what our parents taught us and how our parents led us in communication. I can honestly say that we never dealt with anything in our house, so now we're all struggling to learn how to communicate together. Lack of communication or communication breakdowns can prevent meaningful connections with others. Feeling that your voice isn't being heard, often leading to misunderstandings and loneliness because you don't think anybody is really hearing what you want to say. And then isolation in response to trauma. This is a big one. Many people don't have a reliable support system. So it triggers them, and it triggers a trauma response where they start isolating and they start cutting people off from potential opportunities, or you can't discuss anything with them for growth and healing because they're so broken from not having that reliable support system while they were growing up. I can give you examples from my childhood. Everybody knows I love my mom, my dad. They were great people, but they didn't have educations. They didn't know how to maneuver through life. And we had to call them from the bar. We had to call them for food. We had to ask them when they were coming home. They never checked our homework. So we were all like street kids that just did whatever we wanted to do. And so now we have these trauma responses from not having a reliable support system that we think we're always right, or we push people off, we isolate because of this trauma. So there's 5 blocks to reaching your potential, and that is the legacy of expectations of what we expect our kids to do and become, and sometimes they want to become something else. The cycle of habits and addictions. What do we pick up as kids from our parents? Look at our lives. Like, I spent the first 37 years heavily drinking, out of control drinking, where people had to take care of me. And it stemmed from my grandfather being a drunk, my aunts and uncles being drunks, my mom being a drunk, and I followed right in the footsteps. And you can see where those hindered my potential. Financial poverty, having a scarcity mindset, communication breakdowns, and the last one, we isolate in response to trauma. So those are the blocks for blocking our potential. But there's 5 steps to releasing these and unlocking your DNA and activating your true potential. And the first one I started talking about earlier on in this is called Walk in Universal Love. Embrace unconditional love for yourself and others. The profound connection to everything around you nurtures your soul and fosters your growth. So walking in this universal love. And at the beginning, I talked about if you're say 5'5" and you stand next to somebody 6'5", you would think their arms would be shorter or longer, yours would hang down further, but it's not true. Most people, if you line up your family, other than little kids who are still growing, but once you're grown, all of your hands should match right next to each other so you can walk hand in hand and have that universal love that's inside of you, that's there with you, that can hug you, envelope you, and foster your growth and nurture your soul. So you've got to walk in love, and that comes from forgiveness, from grace, from understanding who you are so that you can live that purposeful life and that potential that you are called to be, because all of this is right inside our DNA. Everything inside of us is right there. We were created to have vision, imagination, purpose. It's a special gift and a talent that we have. But we live in a world where people try to conform us to their ways, which creates these learned behaviors and these family traits. So we've got to try and break that. We've got to not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind. Okay. So walk in universal love, have unforgiveness, embrace yourself and others, and know that we're in this world together to create that. The second one is walk in the forgiveness. Forgiving yourself and others is not about excusing any behaviors. I don't want to make it sound like you have to be a doormat and just forgive everybody and move on. It's not about that, or make excuses for anything. Okay. And it's not about forgetting pain. We all go through pain. You know, when I think about my mom and her death, there's a pain there. But we have to walk in this forgiveness because it's about releasing the weight that holds you back from soaring. And yesterday I went for energy work for a Reiki session with a lady that I researched online. And I've never felt such magnetism on a table and energy as I did yesterday. But she helped me release the negative energy that was in me, because I had to forgive myself for the first 37 years of my life, things that I felt were bad. Other people don't feel they're that bad. But for me, I felt like they were terrible things that I did. And it's taken me these last 10 years to overcome it all. And my son's going through something right now. And I just said to him, I want you to stop it. I want you to stop the McGee traits, the negativities that come on now at age 30 versus waiting till you're 50, 60 years old like your mother did. So walk in that forgiveness of yourself and others. Again, it's not about excusing the behavior or not experiencing the pain, but once you feel that love, you can walk and let go and of that forgiveness. You can walk in that love, and it'll be a beautiful thing. You can release the weight that's holding you back from soaring. And that comes from releasing it in your heart, not in your head, in your heart. You got to listen to your heart. The third step to unlocking your DNA and activating your true potential is to listen to your heart, not your mind. Our minds are skilled at creating fear and doubt, but our hearts are where our true intuition is and our desires live. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to get a piece of paper and write out your 101 desires. Just get a piece of paper and write out every desire that you have and manifest them to start coming true so that you can live in this potential, in this excitement in life that is out there for you if you just let go of all the past and break free. Tune into your heart's voice, not your mind's voice, because our mind will always tell us we're not good enough, we're ugly, we're this, we're that. But when we listen here in our heart, everything will fall into place. The fourth step is embrace meditation and prayer. I don't know where you stand on it, but embracing and learning how to meditate and how to ask for prayer. They connect us to a higher power that's higher than ourselves and reminds us of our purpose and our potential. We sometimes we're blinded by our own eyes, and we see ourselves and others see ourselves. We see us with the clothes and our hair. We put on makeup to cover it all away. But when you see your true self, when you're not blinded by what the eyes see right here in front of you, but there's another vision of you behind your eyes. And I got to witness it a year and a half ago when I was at a deliverance conference. Someone took a picture of me with two other girls, and when I saw it, I went, wow, you're beautiful, because I was in spirit mode. I was in a different mindset, and I got to see my true beauty. And I remember looking at it and just saying, wow, you're beautiful. And then again, the other day, I was listening to a meditation, and it came to me that said, dang, girl, you're beautiful. So when you can experience those things and learn to embrace the meditation and prayer part of life that opens up your heart and your spirit, it will change your whole demeanor. It will bring out your potential in you. It'll help you to understand why you do the things that you do. Because we are a sum of the total of our past. And we have to break through that. We have to take what doesn't work for us from our past and break free of it and learn how to use that for our future and step into that potential. The fifth step to unlocking it is self-reflection. You need to regularly ask yourself 4 questions. The first one is, you have to live day to day. Okay, not week to week, month to month. Yes, you got to plan some things out, but you have to ask yourself, what is your intention today? And if you can plan your day out, you will live in your potential more than just going with the flow of life. Okay, if you don't set these goals or daily tasks, you're just going to flounder here and there and wonder why nothing is ever coming to fruition for you. So ask yourself, what is your intention today? What are you spending your energy on? So a lot of people will spend their energy wasted on the weather because they look at it raining, they look at it snowing, they look at it as 100 degrees, and they spend so much time saying, oh, the weather's bad, the weather's this or that. No, wake up, get dressed for the day. Get dressed for what it is out there. And that will help you work through your potential rather than worrying about the things you can't control, like the weather. Second question, why am I doing this? Okay. Why do I, Patty McGee, want to help people in corporate wellness? Why do I want to be a good life coach to people and help people overcome their life? Why do I want to work at the winery and the resort? There's so many questions. But ask yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? And are you happy with it? Is it happy in your heart? Do you really want to be there? Do you really want to be doing those things? And if not, have a good heart-to-heart conversation with yourself on what can you change to work at the potential that you want to work at and change the job that you have. Another question is, am I bringing my best self? Every day, do you bring your best self to your work, to your family, to your kids, and to yourself? Okay. Are you exercising? Are you eating healthy? Are you taking charge and control of the things that you need to take control of? Because this is all leading into your true potential. If you're not bringing your best self, how are you working at your potential? You're not. Okay? It's all inside of you. In your DNA is this potential that can come out. I've always told people there was another person inside of me that wanted to come out when I was sitting at the bars, that wanted to come out all those years, but I stuffed it down inside because I thought I was a bad person. I didn't think I was a great person. I had shame, guilt, everything. And now I'm living my potential. I want you to live your potential. And the last question to ask yourself under self-reflection is, what am I proud of? What do you have that you're proud of? My biggest pride is my son, Dylan. Okay. Then I got awards on my wall. I'm very proud of them. I have skills, the things that I've stepped into, doing the Iron Girl Sprint triathlons at 50 years of age. Being able to move to Georgia and be happy. So I'm proud of these things that I've done. When you're not proud, you live in the shame and the guilt and the anxieties, the depressions. But when you're proud of yourself, when you forgive yourself, when you listen to your heart, you are proud and you're happy, and those things can go away from you. Okay? These questions just aren't queries, but lanterns illuminating the path to who your true self is meant to be, what your true potential is. And here's the key, folks. It's all inside of you. Everything I've done has been inside of me. Everything my life coach has pulled out of me, everything my spiritual counselor has pulled out of me, guess what? It's all been inside of me. They've pulled out the negative that I had. They've pulled out the positive. It's been a great journey. And you need that journey to unlock your true potential if you're feeling stuck. Okay? So I just want to end with this, letting you know that your DNA is truly your diploma. What you think, how you react to things, how you take care of your mind, body, and spirit, it's all internal. It's all in those strands of DNA that you have inside of you. And you can change those cells. You can work on changing who you are if you put the right people in your life. So find the people. It's not an easy journey by any means. You're going to have to give up people. You're going to have to give up going to places. You're going to have to make a lot of changes and a lot of sacrifices. But when you get to that other side, it's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful journey. One that we need to live. So think about your DNA as your diploma. It's more than a high school diploma. When I was in high school, I was told I'd be nothing but a housewife. Now, that statement, okay, I had to prove everybody wrong, right? I went out. They told me I'd never go to college, so I went to college. I played sports in college. I became the recreation director for the city. I was living to some of my potential, but not all of it, because inside I had the shame, the guilt, and all that stuff that I had to let go. And it kept self-sabotaging me every time I'd get to a certain point. And now it's like, okay, my potential, my DNA, you break it open. You get rid of the negative stuff. And you start living to be your true self. And you don't care about what other people think of you to the extent that it hinders your growth and hinders you from going and working to your potential. Because if you're miserable in your life and in your job and everything, you're never going to be happy. Never. So the journey to unlocking our true potential is both challenging and rewarding. It requires us to confront and release the past traumas. You can go back and look at some of my other videos. I talk about the mother wound, the father wound, the sibling wound, and how to change all of that, what you should have been taught, because we all have it. You were either overly loved or underly loved, and, it affects both of you. I know for my son, it was overly love. And the things that I didn't teach him were how to clean. And that probably sounds silly, but that can ruin a relationship if two people together don't work together to overcome that. And by me doing everything to make his life easier, I held back his potential of being a man that he could be to a degree. Even though he's a great guy and a great kid, there's certain things that I, as his mother, did not teach him. And it holds him back in relationships. It requires us to confront and release the traumas, the inherited behaviors. I'm lucky he did not get the gene to overly drink. So I'm blessed with that. I believe it's because he watched me go through the cancer and we created a bond. He's watched me overcome the alcohol abuse that I had. So I think that's helped him in this life. And then we have to release societal pressures. Just everybody scrolling on Facebook, you can hear it in everybody's voices and in their texts on social media. They're tired of the ads. They're tired of all the self-help bullcrap that's going on out there, and the regurgitated stuff that just keeps coming out. We have to let go of what society considers what we want, what we need. Let go of those pressures. And by doing so, we don't just survive, we thrive. You'll start to thrive in your life. Our DNA, which is our internal diploma, our internal compass, okay, holds the key to our lives of fulfillment, purpose, and joy. So I just want to leave you with those 5 steps to unlocking your potential. And just ask yourself, are you living up to who you should be? So I just want to recap really quickly the 5 blocks to your potential, possible blocks to your potential, and then the 5 steps to unlocking your potential. So the 5 blocks are the legacy of expectation. Did somebody in your family tell you you needed to be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, whatever? Hi, Nadia. The second one is the cycle of habits and addictions. What have you picked up from your family line, your family DNA, your family line of habits and addictions, the drinking, okay, the monkey see, monkey do effect that is very powerful in our lives and we don't recognize it. Okay. I had an aunt who gave me alcohol at age 13. I don't blame her for me becoming an abuser of alcohol because she gave me a drink at age 13, but it started there. And then I had trauma at age 13 and I buried it in alcohol and I carried it through till I was 50 when I gave it up. Thank you to the breast cancer for opening my eyes that I was not living to my true potential. The third block is financial poverty, the poverty mindset that we all have, the scarcity mindset. Go back and look and see if you have it. If you're living below your means, if you're living in a ton of debt, I used to all the time, you're living below your means and you have a potential to earn a lot more income. So look at that block. Communication breakdowns. Poor communication is killing this world right now. So look and see where you have trauma, where you back off because you don't know how to communicate. You'd rather sit quiet or you overly exaggerate things, and see where you can have meaningful conversations and learn how to connect with others and learn how to communicate. There's really some good books out there online. So look into those. And then the last block is isolation in response to trauma. Many times growing up, many of us didn't have a reliable support system. I talked about my mom and dad always being in the bars. So we were street kids. We were outside on our own all the time. No one checked our homework, no discipline, no responsibility. And it can trigger trauma where we isolate ourselves and we cut people off out of our lives because they don't agree with us. So look at those 5 blocks. And then take these steps to help you unlock those blocks. The first one, walk in universal love. Okay. Embrace that unconditional love for yourself and others. Connect everything around you so it nurtures you, nurtures your soul, and it fosters your growth. Go stand next to somebody taller than you and see if your hand reaches theirs, where you can hold it, or you can give them a hug, and just see if that works for you. Walk in forgiveness. Life is so much about forgiveness of ourselves and of others. I know I talk to women all the time and they just can't forgive themselves for things they did when they were younger. I was one of those people. But you got to walk through it. You can get counseling, you can get life coaching, whatever you got to do, you can change that so you live your potential. Third step, listen to your heart, not your mind. And this may sound crazy because a lot of people will tell you go with your gut instinct, gut and heart connected. Okay. Our minds are skilled at creating fear and doubt, but our hearts are where the true intuition and desire lives. So go live it. Go tune into your heart's voice and listen to it and go live. If it means to pack up and move somewhere else, go do it. Go do it. Declutter your life and see how you feel. It's one of the best things I ever did. When we had to move, downsize from one apartment where I had everything from a house that I had 22 bins of toys for Dylan, every card that he had. And we had to move into this 5x8 storage area. And I said to my son, I said, Dylan, what do you want from your childhood? He goes, nothing. That's on you, Mom. I was devastated. But when I gave all that stuff away, when I released it, that burden came off of me. I embraced it. And now I can go anywhere because I have very little belongings. So declutter your life to live your potential. It gave me the strength to move here to Georgia. Embrace meditation and prayer. Okay. Prayer does not mean religion. Many people get this confused. As soon as people talk about prayer, they're like, oh, I'm not religious. I'm not religious. It's not about religion. It's about praying internally, praying to something higher than you, that higher power, that higher selves of ours, that has the answers for us if we pray and listen for the answer. So meditate on things. Ask yourself, okay, questions, and let that potential come out of you. Let that purpose come out of you when you're sitting quiet, and have paper and pen next to you. But just start asking questions and then sit quiet and let the answer come to you. So many times when I'm massaging somebody in that room and it's quiet, we're not talking, I get so much information for myself and for others. And the last step to unlocking your DNA and activating your true potential is to self-reflect. Regularly ask yourself these 4 questions. What is my intention for today? Why am I doing this? Am I bringing my best self? And what am I proud of? Find something that you're proud of in your life. Okay? Again, these questions are not just queries about lanterns, but are lanterns illuminating the path to who you are, who you want to become. And there's so many people that start living their life at age 60, 50, 60, 70. So it's not too late to change anything, to learn to love yourself. So I just ask you to start unlocking your true potential. And I'm going to leave you with this last statement. And I thank all of you who have been watching, those of you who are going to watch. I hope this blessed you in some way. But wherever your footsteps lead you, may you always leave peace, love, and hope. Have a great night, and I will talk to you on the next live.